We are here today outside the Bahraini embassy to show our utter rejection of the Bahrain workshop, which is being hosted by the Al Khalifa dictatorship in Bahrain today. The Bahrain workshop is the first phase of Trump's so-called deal of the century. With its origins in Israel and with the support of pro-Israeli Arab dictatorships, it aims to sell off the Palestinian struggle for freedom. The deal of the century essentially proposes the creation of an Israeli independent mini-state called New Palestine, which would comprise of only areas A and B of the occupied West Bank. That's less than 40% of the West Bank. The rest of the West Bank, illegally occupied under international law, including the whole of the fertile Jordanian Valley, will be annexed permanently to Israel, and its Palestinian population will be ethnically cleansed, all in breach of the Geneva Convention. The Palestinians would be denied their internationally recognized capital, Jerusalem. Instead, the so-called New Palestine would have as its capital the village of Abu Dis. The state would not be permitted to defend itself, totally demilitarized, and its borders and airspace would be under Israeli control. It would be linked to Gaza by an Israeli-controlled road. Gaza would be expanded into northern Sinai on land leased from Egypt. The resistance in Gaza would need to surrender its arms to Israel and come under PA control. The Palestinian right of return, guaranteed under international law to over 7 million Palestinian refugees, would be cancelled. To add insult to injury, the deal would be sweetened with a bribe of 50 billion over 10 years. And in an interview this month, Jared Kushner, the architect of the plan, suggested that Palestinians aren't capable of governing themselves and are more concerned with money for a mortgage than freedom. The bulk of the bribe would be paid for by the Saudi and other Gulf dictatorships on behalf of Israel. Today, the first phase of this plan, the economic side, is being tabled in Bahrain. Hosted by the brutal Khalifa dictatorship of Bahrain, the workshop is being attended by the US and all of its servile Arab regimes headed by Saudi Arabia, including the United Arab Emirates, Jordan, Egypt, Morocco and Qatar, as well as the representation from Israel and the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank. Only the Palestinians are missing. The deal stinks so bad that even the normally purchasable PA has rejected it. So without even a token Palestinian presence, the conference aims to determine the future of Palestine. Whilst it seems the Arab dictatorships like Bonesaw, MBS in Saudi, MBZ in Emirates, and Al Khalifa in Bahrain have all sold themselves into slavish servitude to Israel and Trump, we are here to say that Palestine is not for sale. Jerusalem Al-Quds is not for sale. Jerusalem Al-Quds is the eternal capital of Palestine. Shame on the Saudi, Emirati and Bahraini regimes. Palestine will be free from the river to the sea. Free Palestine! Free Palestine!
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Ladies and gentlemen, it's few words on behalf of the Bahrainians in the UK. I'm not going to add to my friend and colleague what he said actually anyway, except that to let you know our youth already on streets of Al-Manama and other parts of Bahrain, protesting against, not only against the regime, as they've done so since the start of our present revolution of the 14th February 2011, but against this workshop to sell Palestine. To let you know as well, as Bahrainians, we stood always, shoulder to shoulder for over 70, 80 years with our brothers and sisters in Palestine. So yes, we condemn what's happening there. It's a sellout actually not only for Palestine, it was a sellout for Bahrain and other parts of the region, because it is legalizing the theft, legalizing the oppression, legalizing the suppression of the people in the region. And as we've done socially, I'd say over 78 years, actually, we've been here last Wednesday, protesting once again outside this building, actually, which represent the regime there. We say to our Palestinian brothers, we always stand with you. We always support you. We always believe in your rights, because the similarity, ladies and gentlemen, between the Zionist regime in Palestine and its counterpart, or it is in Bahrain, is exactly the same. The agenda is exactly the same. The means exactly the same. The support from their side is from the same sources, ladies and gentlemen. So the struggle in Palestine is exactly copy of what's the struggle in Bahrain. We stand shoulder to shoulder. We condemn this workshop. We'll carry on with our opposition. We'll carry on with this struggle in Maratina, and inshallah, one day we're heading towards victory. Thank you very much.
Well done.
Dear friends, campaigners, those of you standing for justice, those of you standing for the justice of Palestinians who have been suffering over 70 years, systematically, daily, monthly, and international community turning their backs to them, is a very honorable thing to do. And some of you who have come down here today because of this so-called sale of the century, which I call it the con of century, is a war crime of century, is ethnic cleansing of the century, is being systematically organized to buy people to leave their land, to live what that belongs to them. And you know, I would say to you that what we are seeing is Palestinians are not buying this, are not going to be part of it. Europeans are not buying this and are not going to be part of it. International community, ordinary people around the world, in the Arab countries, in Europe, elsewhere, are not buying this. And as a matter of fact, this deal is already dead before it was even born. But one thing, I personally am actually glad to see what we are seeing. Because for once, the mask is removed from United States, from these Arab tyrants, and we are seeing the truth face of these people. These people have been claiming that they're friends of Palestine for all these years, while behind their backs have been supporting and promoting these atrocities by the Zionist state. So I'm glad to see that they're exposed, because then we are going to be very clear what's the way forward, what's the roadmap, the real roadmap forward. And I would say to you that what is clear, definitely to you people of the region, in the Middle East and in the Arab world, that we have to liberate Mecca and Medina and Bahrain first, and then move on Al-Quds. Because otherwise, every time we move to liberate and support the Palestinians, these people are stabbing us with a knife in our back. And we now know we have to rely on ourselves. We know that what has to be done. And I'm very glad about that, because I actually think that today is the beginning of us moving to free the whole of the Palestinians, so Muslims, Jews and Christians could live happily together in that region which they belongs to them. Thank you so much.